energy exited out of the back of his hair. And next thing I know, he's flying in the air, feet above his head. And I promise, I swear, for a split second, I heard that like Sarah McLachlan song, you know, through the arms of an angel. And he's like in slow motion falling to the ground. All right, well, I just got back from work and I am craving one of my original, oh man, that's loud. Craving one of my original broke person meals I used to eat all the time. If you have never had a fried bologna sandwich, you're missing out, dude. And that's what I'm making today. But while I'm making it, I thought of this thing. Have you guys ever done something so stupid that even like years later it still keeps you up at night? Because that's what happened to me the other night. And I tried to ignore it, tried to push it down. I was like, no, this is just my self-consciousness just telling me that like I'm cringy, because I know that happens sometimes. But then I was like, you know what? I might need to just make a video about this so that I can get it out into the world, clear my conscience, and just move on. It's not like it's even a big thing. It's just I'm just like, man, I can't believe that I did that. So here's what happened. By the way, this is the best bread, dude. Naked, organic, minimalist wheat. Just tried it the first time the other day. Great stuff. But anyway, 13 years ago now, which is wild. Time just flies so incredibly fast. It's crazy. But about 13 years ago, in 2013, I went to YWAM in Kona, Hawaii, which is great. If you don't know what it is a missionary training organization, and couldn't recommend them highly enough. I loved YWAM. It was great. But the way that it works is, you know, you spend 3 months in Kona being taught all kinds of different stuff about the Bible. You get different speakers from all over. They're usually super cool. I had Dan Bauman and Andy Bird, and if you're from YWAM, you know who these guys are. They're great. They're great dudes. And then after 3 months of just like intense teaching, what is this? They send you out into the world, literally, like into the world. And we went to Cambodia. Me and about 11 or 12 other people, 13 other people, I don't know. We went to Cambodia. And the first week we get there, my leader, his name was Dave, we call him Papa Dave, great guy, was like, hey, guess what, guys? Next week we're going to go and spend a whole week at an orphanage, and we're going to like preach the gospel to them and just love on them. And everybody was like, yeah, orphanage. And I was over there like, there ain't no way I'm going to make it through this. Why? Because I didn't like kids at the time. And I know that sounds bad because I got kids. And I should super duper love it, you know, to go there. But, you know, this was 13 years ago. I was a different guy. And so in Inupiaq, there's a word called kivit. And it's a really useful word, especially for me because I tend to do this a lot. And it means that you just like pout, that you're upset, you're mad, and so you just kivit. You're just like in a bad mood, and you're gonna be funny towards people, and it's just nothing good comes out of kiviting. Well, that's exactly what I did. I kivited. And so we packed all 13 of us, or however, into like a 8-person van with all of our luggage for a week at an orphanage. And we had guitars because we're doing worship, and oh my gosh, dude, it was so jam-packed. There was feet up in the air, like touching people's ears, and then it was like, you know, if you've ever been overseas, you know there's no regulations about this stuff, so we just were weaving in and out of traffic, and it was like 6 hours, dude. It was a long trip. And if you've never been to Cambodia, it's hot. It's like super hot. It's like 100 degrees and stuff. And so anyway, this was just making the whole situation just like dreading it even more. And then we get to the orphanage, and I'm still in a bad mood. And the pastor who runs the orphanage comes up, and he's like, hey, I'm so-and-so. Let me take you guys on a detour, right? And so we went on this detour. Or not a detour, what am I saying? We went on a tour of the place. And while we were on the tour, I saw a group of kids who were playing volleyball together. You know, there's like a little square area in the middle of the orphanage, and they had a net, and they were hitting the ball back and forth. And, you know, they're 10, 11, 13 years old, just kids. And I'm 20 or 21. And I was like, okay, you know what? I'm going to make the best of this trip. I'm here on a mission, literally. I'm here for a purpose, and I can't just sit here kiveting the whole time. So I'm going to do the best thing that I know what to do, and that is I'm going to jump in this volleyball game, which I had good intentions. You know, I was trying to do the right thing. In reality, maybe I definitely should have stayed with the group and listened to the pastor and respected his role, you know, and got to know the place and then jumped into the volleyball game afterwards. But here I was, just all sorts of weird at the time. And so anyway, I jumped into the volleyball game, and there's this one kid, man, on the opposing side who he was like way too good for like an 11-year-old. Way too good for an 11-year-old. And he's just hitting the ball and scoring on me. And I'm like, dude, you are like 4'5", and you're a kid. I'm 6 foot, big like American male. You can't be beating me right now, right? You can't, like, this isn't supposed to happen. So what did I do? I started taking the game a little more seriously. And by a little more seriously, I mean, I took it personal. And, oh man, cayenne on that is potent. I took it a little bit personally. And so he's hitting on it, and I'm hitting on it, and we're going back and forth. And finally, like, the ball, after like many scores back and forth, you know, the ball just got to that perfect spot. And like everything went just like the stars aligned. Has that ever happened to you? Or like everything that could happen happened. All like totally perfect. And he was like right there, and I'm like in this perfect setup. The ball went just the right height, and something animalistic came out of me that I have not experienced to this day. And I jumped as high as I could, and I hit that ball. And I mean, I hit that ball so good. It sounded like a gunshot. Like I was up in Kotzebue again, hunting for caribou. Like it just hit, and it was like, pow! And it was great. It was so great. It was great for me. It was not so good for that kid I was playing against. Because much like a bullet out of a gunshot, this took a straight line course straight to this kid's face, man. I mean, it just, poof, and it hit him so hard. It was like the inertia of the ball transferred from the front of his skull to the back of his hair. I actually saw his hair like fly, like go back and like do the wave, and energy exited out of the back of his hair. And next thing I know, he's flying in the air, feet above his head. And I promise, I swear, for a split second, I heard that like Sarah McLachlan song, you know, through the arms of an angel. And he's like in slow motion falling to the ground. And here I am on the other side of the net, just like, yeah. And then when he hit the ground, I realized something. I was like, oh, I'm supposed to be taking a tour with a group of people at the moment. And I just smoked this kid in the face. And so I watched him fall, And I looked over, and my entire group, plus the pastor who runs the place, is standing there with their mouths wide open. Like, what did you just do? And now I would like to think that they were impressed by my amazing spike, but in reality, I think they were just taken aback that I just mowed down this kid on his home field. That kid didn't talk to me too much after that. And I was humiliated because here I was trying to do the right thing. And instead, I'm just destroying kids on the volleyball court. Well, the next day, I felt terrible. And I was still just kind of kiveting because I was like, okay, God, like here I am trying to do good. And you let this happen? Like I'm trying to do your thing. And here I am like mowing kids down, doing the opposite of ministering to them. And I was just like in a bad mood. And then at about 4 a.m, I get woken up to some of the most beautiful singing I've ever heard. And when I looked, there was just all the kids from the orphanage, from like newborn to, 16, 17, whatever, in this orphanage. And they are worshiping God as hard as they could possibly worship. And there's just like 6-year-olds with their arms just raised out, crying out to Jesus. And I got convicted so incredibly hard. And I realized that I was being so stupid. And the conviction hit, man. Probably very similar to that volleyball in that kid's face. It was just like, poof, you're missing it, Peach. That's what it felt like. Like you're missing it. Stop missing it. And I instantly repented and I joined them in their worship. And me and that kid made up. It was honestly just an accident. But I was just like so humiliated. But the thing is I learned something that day. And that's sometimes we think that we're in submission to God and that we are trying to do what God has asked us to do. And then sometimes we take the lead on our own. Like we hear the call and we're like, okay, God, thanks for telling me what to do. Now I got it from here, right? I'm going to go and make sure that it all gets handled well. And that's what I did. I was like, okay, God, thanks for sending me to the orphanage. Thanks, but not really, right? I didn't want to be there. And I got it from here. So I broke away from the group, which I shouldn't have done. I played volleyball with these kids, which was good. That was good intentions. But I got carried away because that's what I do sometimes. And then I got mad at God because here I was trying my best. And instead, I was just in like rebellion against God, but also trying to be submissive at the same time is like a really weird limbo. But I think a lot of us do this. God calls us to something. We try to do it on our own strength, by our own wisdom, by our own understanding, by our own know-how. And even though we're in alignment with the plan that God has, we're outside of the scope of how to execute the plan. We have to continually be in obedience and be in submission to Jesus. Because for me, trying my best apparently is mowing kids down on the volleyball court and just destroying their lives. And that's not good. I'm learning that that's not good. So anyway, what's God having you do? And are you trying to have control? Are you trying to take the reins on your own and do the thing that you want to do? Or are you submitting to the Lord and listening to Him? And if not, then I humbly beseech you to repent and turn back and give control back to Jesus and let Him do what He's going to do. Because ultimately, once I learned that lesson, that week became one of the best weeks of my entire life. The orphanage was fantastic. I changed my attitude, or more like God changed my attitude. He helped me love these kids. I had the best time. And then I was one of the ones that convinced Papa Dave to let us go back before we left again because we all loved it so much. So there is hope for you yet. There's hope for me yet. We all need Jesus, man, every step of the way. And hopefully this is just a funny story to help you guys resonate. All right, my sandwich just finished. I'm ready to get to it, and I will talk to you guys later. Thanks for listening.